the hell up. Right now, while you're sitting there hesitating, someone else is taking what should be yours. The world doesn't give a damn about your excuses, your fears, or your "I'll start tomorrow," because tomorrow is a lie. Every second you waste is another nail in your coffin. You think success is for the lucky, for the privileged? Wrong. Success is for the ones who move while the weak are still crying about fairness. You have two choices: act fast and claim your destiny, or die slow, rotting in regret, watching others live the life you were too scared to fight for. The clock's ticking. What the hell are you waiting for? You want the truth? The brutal, unfiltered reality they're too scared to tell you? Perfection is the enemy of progress. Every second you waste polishing, hesitating, and waiting for the right moment is another second your competition is out there taking what should be yours. The world doesn't care about your flawless plan. It cares about who gets there first. You think Steve Jobs waited until the iPhone was perfect? No, he launched, dominated, and fixed the flaws later. Winners understand one unshakable law: done is better than perfect. You're sitting there paralyzed, terrified of failure, terrified of looking stupid, terrified of making a mistake. Meanwhile, the guy with half your talent but twice your speed is already on his third business, his fifth deal, his 10th win, because he wasn't crippled by the delusion of perfection. He took action, he failed fast, he learned faster, and now he's so far ahead you'll never catch up unless you stop overthinking and start executing. And let me break it down for you in terms even the weak-minded can understand. Speed is leverage. The first to market controls the market. The first to act controls the game. The first to move, he sets the rules. And you're still stuck in analysis paralysis, drowning in hypotheticals while the sharks are feasting. Wake up! Your perfect plan is worthless if it never leaves your notebook. You think mastery comes from endless preparation? Wrong. Mastery comes from repetition. From doing, failing, adjusting, and doing again. The boxer doesn't learn to punch by reading books. The entrepreneur doesn't build an empire by waiting for a safe idea. They throw the first punch. They launch the first product. They make the first move. And while you're still researching, they're already on their fifth iteration, leaving you in the dust. Here's the cold hard truth. You will never be ready. There will always be another excuse, another doubt, another what if. The difference between you and the guy living your dream: he acted despite the fear. He moved before he felt ready. He understood that momentum is the only thing that crushes resistance. You want success? Stop waiting for some magical moment of confidence. It doesn't exist. The confidence comes after the action, not before. Look at history. The greatest empires, the biggest companies, the most legendary careers. They weren't built by cautious men who waited for guarantees. They were built by men who moved fast, broke things, and fixed them later. The Wright brothers didn't wait for perfect conditions. They jumped off a hill and figured it out midair. You're waiting for a 100% success rate in a world where 51% makes you a king. Pathetic. Keep polishing your imaginary masterpiece until it's obsolete, or throw it into the arena. Let the market tear it apart and rebuild it stronger. Speed beats perfection every single time, because in the end, the only thing worse than failure is irrelevance, and the slow, painful death of watching someone else live the life you were too scared to go after. The clock's ticking. Move now or get left behind forever. Let's get one thing straight right now. Weakness isn't something you're born with. It's not bad luck. It's not genetics. Weakness is a decision, a slow, pathetic surrender to fear, comfort, and excuses. Every time you hesitate, every time you doubt, every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," you are making a conscious choice to be weak. And that choice, it's killing you faster than any failure ever could. You want to know why most people never get what they want? It's not because they're stupid. It's not because they lack talent. It's because they choose to be soft. They choose to listen to the voice in their head that says, what if I fail, instead of the voice that roars, what if I win? They choose to stay in their comfort zone where it's warm and safe, instead of stepping into the fire where real growth happens. And guess what? The world doesn't reward comfort. The world rewards action. The world rewards dominance. The world rewards dominance. The world spits out the weak and crowns the strong. Let me make this painfully clear. Indecision is self-destruction. Every minute you spend waffling, second-guessing, and waiting for the right time is another minute your competition is gaining ground. While you're stuck in your head, they're out there taking risks, making moves, and winning. And the worst part? You know this. But instead of pushing forward, you let fear dictate your life. That's not bad luck. That's not circumstance. That's you choosing to be weak. Here's the brutal reality. Failure isn't the enemy. Inaction is. Failure is just feedback. It's data. It's a lesson. But inaction is a death sentence. It's the slow, miserable decline of a man who had potential but never used it. It's the regret that eats you alive at 3 a.m. when you realize you wasted your prime years hesitating. You think the rich, the powerful, the elite got where they are by playing it safe? No. They got there by refusing to be weak. They got there by making decisions, even the wrong ones, and learning from them. Meanwhile, you're still paralyzed, still waiting, still making excuses. You want to talk about weakness? Let's talk about excuses. Because excuses are the armor of the weak. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I don't have the right connections. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Every single person who ever achieved anything great started with nothing. They just had one thing you don't: the refusal to accept weakness. They didn't whine about their circumstances. They changed them. They didn't cry about unfairness. They dominated anyway. And you? You're still telling yourself fairy tales about why you can't win. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you did something that terrified you? When was the last time you took a real risk, put everything on the line, and went all in? If you can't remember, that's your problem. Weakness thrives in comfort. Strength is forged in discomfort. The gym isn't hard because lifting weights is complicated. It's hard because it hurts. Business isn't hard because strategy is impossible to learn. It's hard because losing feels like death. But here's the secret. The pain is the price of power. And if you're not willing to pay it, you will die slow, wondering what could have been. Here's your wake-up call. Weakness is a choice, but so is strength. Every day, you decide which one you're going to feed. Every day, you decide whether you're going to be the man who takes what he wants or the coward who watches life pass him by. The clock is ticking. The world isn't waiting. And if you don't step up now, you will die slow, not in one dramatic moment, but in 1,000 small surrenders. The question is simple. Are you going to stay weak, or are you going to fight? The choice is yours. But choose fast, because time doesn't care about your excuses. Let's cut the bullshit right now. Life isn't some fairy tale where everyone gets a participation trophy. This is war. Every single day you wake up, you're either moving forward and crushing competition, or you're getting trampled underfoot by those who refuse to lose. There is no middle ground, no neutral zone, no safe space where you can hide from reality. You either dominate your circumstances. That's not motivational fluff. That's the cold, hard truth of existence.
Think about nature for 1 second. The lion doesn't apologize for eating the gazelle. The shark doesn't feel guilty for being a predator. They understand the fundamental law of survival: eat or be eaten. Now translate that to your life. While you're sitting there hesitating about whether to start that business, ask for that raise, or make that investment, someone else is out there taking what should be yours. They're not better than you. They're not smarter than you. They just understand one critical fact. In this world, you're either the hammer or the nail. There is no in between. Let me make this painfully clear. Every single resource in this world is limited. Money, power, opportunities, women, success. There's only so much to go around. And while you're busy finding yourself or waiting for the right moment, the predators of this world are circling, ready to take everything you could have had. You think that promotion will wait for you? You think that business idea will still be untapped next year? You think that dream girl will just sit around hoping you'll man up? Wake the hell up. Inaction is surrender. Hesitation is defeat. Every second you waste is another second someone else is building the life you fantasize about. Here's what they don't teach you in school. Life rewards aggression. Not mindless violence, but controlled, calculated, relentless forward motion. Look at every empire in history, every Fortune 500 company, every legendary athlete. What do they have in common? They attacked while others were still making excuses. Jeff Bezos didn't wait for the perfect time to start Amazon. He dominated an entire industry while everyone else was still figuring out how to use email. Floyd Mayweather didn't become the highest paid athlete by being nice. He became untouchable through ruthless discipline and domination. This isn't theory, this is proven strategy. Now let's talk about you. What's your excuse today? Too tired? Not enough money? Not enough connections? Here's the brutal reality check. Nobody cares. The market doesn't care about your sob story. Your competition certainly doesn't care. While you're crying about how hard it is, your rivals are finding ways to win. They're working while you're sleeping. They're learning while you're scrolling. They're out-dominating you in every aspect of life. And unless you change right now, you'll spend your whole life looking up at people who simply wanted it more than you did. Let me break down the psychology of domination for you. It's not about being the biggest or the strongest. It's about being the most relentless, the most unstoppable, the most unwilling to accept defeat. When others quit, you push harder. When others doubt, you double down. When others take a day off, you're putting in triple the work. This isn't about being toxic. This is about understanding that in the arena of life, there are winners and there are spectators. Which one are you choosing to be today? Every moment you spend reading this instead of taking action is another moment you're choosing to be dominated rather than to dominate. This isn't a game. This isn't practice. This is your one shot at life, and the rules are clear. You either come out swinging or you get knocked the hell out. So what's it going to be? Are you going to keep making excuses and watching others live your dreams? Or are you going to stand up right now, look life dead in the eye, and declare, I am the predator? The choice is yours, but choose fast, because in this jungle, hesitation gets you killed. Let me tell you something that will piss you off. Your excuses are murdering your future, not slowly, not painlessly. They're taking a goddamn axe to everything you could have been while you sit there nodding along like some brainwashed sheep waiting for permission to live. Failure? Failure is just a bruise. Excuses? Those are terminal cancer eating through your potential. Every time you open your mouth to say, I can't, because you're signing another death warrant for your dreams. Think about this. When you fail, you learn. When you lose, you grow. But when you make excuses, you rot. Excuses are the mental prison where dreams go to die slow. Suffocating deaths. That business you never started, that girl you never approached, that body you never built. They weren't taken from you by bad luck or circumstance. They were executed in cold blood by your own pathetic justifications. I don't have time. Bullshit. You have the same 24 hours as Elon Musk had when he was building PayPal in a fucking office the size of a closet. I don't have money. Even bigger bullshit. Every empire started with less than what's in your bank account right now. Your excuses aren't reasons, they're confessions of weakness. Let's autopsy a typical excuse so you understand how lethal they really are. Take I'm too old. Colonel Sanders was flipping burgers at 65. Morgan Freeman didn't get famous until his 50s. Your age excuse is just cowardice dressed up as logic. Or I'm too young. Mark Zuckerberg was a billionaire by 23. Your youth isn't a disadvantage. It's your greatest weapon if you'd stop whining and start using it. Every excuse you make is just your fear wearing a different Halloween costume. And the tragedy? You know this. Deep down in that place, you're too scared to look. You know, every single excuse is a lie you tell yourself to avoid the terrifying responsibility of actually trying. Here's the brutal mathematics of success. Every excuse has an expiration date, and when it runs out, all you're left with is regret. That someday you keep talking about, it's a fairy tale. Someday is the favorite word of losers who are too weak to say today. Look at the people you admire, the athletes, the entrepreneurs, the legends. You know what they all have in common? Zero tolerance for excuses. When Kobe wanted to train at 4 a.m., he didn't cry about being tired. When Edison failed 10,000 times, he didn't bitch about unfairness. They understood the fundamental law of existence. Excuses are the nails building your coffin. Now let's talk about the most dangerous excuse of all. I'll start tomorrow. That one sentence has destroyed more potential than every economic crash combined. Tomorrow is the favorite hiding place of cowards. Tomorrow is where dreams go to die. Tomorrow is a lie told by weak men who lack the courage to face today. Right now, as you read this, there are two versions of you, the one making excuses and the one who could be legendary. The gap between them isn't talent, isn't intelligence, isn't resources. It's simply the willingness to say fuck excuses and take action. I want you to do something right now. Think of the single biggest excuse you've been using. That thing you tell yourself every night that lets you sleep despite not pursuing your dreams. Now imagine yourself on your deathbed. That same excuse on your lips as your final words. How does that feel? Like poison in your veins, right? Because excuses don't just kill your present, they murder your future self. Every justification you make today is stealing from the person you could become. The math is simple. More excuses equals less life, period. So here's your ultimatum. You can either keep lying to yourself and watch your potential bleed out one excuse at a time, or you can do what the winners do. Execute excuses on sight. No prisoners, no negotiations. The moment an excuse enters your mind, you strangle it before it can breathe. Because in the end, when you're staring at everything you didn't achieve, it won't be failure that haunts you. It'll be all those times you chose excuses over action. The clock's ticking. The excuses or your dreams, only one survives. Choose now.